Right now, it seems like everyone's in this sort of panic, and the normal person is like, oh no, the seasons are changing, fall is coming, my seasonal depression is gonna creep up. Whereas for football fans, we're defrosting faster than Mariah Carey at Christmas time. It's football season, baby. Greatest time of the year. What is up, everybody? I am Sporty Jordy, here with you on the eve of NFL kickoff. And what better way to start the season than by breaking down every division and giving my prediction for how they're going to end up this season. I hope you're ready, because that's what we have in store for today. And I'm a little biased, but this video at the start of every football season, for some reason, is my favorite video that I ever get to do. And I feel like that may be because this was the first YouTube video I ever made when I launched my channel back in 2020. So there's a little bit of nostalgia in there. And then it's also super fun because then at the end of the year, we can go back and look on how freaking wrong I was. I also think that I say this at the start of every season, but I genuinely believe that we are in for a very good year. And I'm going to be honest with you because I would never lie to you guys. I was a little nervous to get back into the YouTube grind. For those who have been with me for a while now, you know that this is a very new setup. I'm no longer in my bedroom of my mother's house. Big girl things. And this isn't the first YouTube video that I've actually done in my new place. All of my draft content and all that stuff was done here, but this is the first formal sit down Sporty Jordy video that I've done. One in my new place, two in a long time. And it's interesting because when I started making content, it was strictly YouTube. And the people that followed me there knew that I talked about the NFL and the league as a whole. And then I started doing a bunch of TikTok content. And obviously, I'm a big Eagles fan. I never hid that. I'm literally wearing a Hertz brown presidential crew neck, my president and vice president. But I feel like on TikTok, since I know that my following is mostly Eagles fan, and that's the content that does best for me there, I lean into it a lot. And this is going to be a lot more broad NFL. So I hope we're all okay with that. It was also hard for me to not talk about the Eagles because we've been so good. And just so you all know, I'm going to end with the NFC East. I have to. I hope that in doing that, you watch the whole video and stick it out to the end. But if you got to this point and you're like, damn, I'm skipping to the Eagles, this is also the time to do that. I'm actually having such a hard time wrapping my head around the fact that tomorrow night there will be a football game on all of our TVs that counts and matters and means something. Oh my God, we are so back. Thinking about it now, I probably should have thought of which division I wanted to start with before I sat down and hit record. Okay, all right. This isn't fully sitting right with me, but we're going to go north, south, west, east. Bear with me, okay? I'm a little rusty. No, okay, I like this because then we start and end with very good divisions. Kicking things off, the AFC North. Guys, let's be real. AFC North, this is one of, if not, the most competitive divisions in the NFL right now. And let me immediately rewind because for me, it's actually not the most competitive. I'll get into which one I think is. And the reason I don't think it's the AFC North is just because all of these teams aren't on the same level. And let me explain what I mean by that. The Bengals and the Ravens, in my mind, are both Super Bowl caliber teams. And I think we could argue that the Steelers and Browns are both playoff teams at their ceiling. They're playoff teams. So it is definitely super competitive and it's definitely going to be interesting because every single time we have a divisional matchup from the AFC North, it's going to be intense. However, I think there is another division, which some may hate on me for thinking and totally valid, but there is another division that is more competitive in the sense that every team is on that same level. Where here there's some separation. There are great teams and there are good teams all fighting within one division. And now I'll shut up about that and get to the actual point. Can I get a drum roll, please? I don't even know if you're going to be able to hear that. That you definitely won't be able to hear. I'm just going to superimpose the sound of a drum roll. Ravens, Bengals, Steelers, Browns. I am going to keep my eye on the Steelers this season as well because I think they could be a sneaky good football team. I would also die for Mike Tomlin. What order did I say I was going to go in again? North, South, West, East? Sure. AFC South. Oh, God. If Jacksonville doesn't win this division, then something went so wrong this year. I am very high on the Jacksonville Jaguars coming into 2023. I think theoretically they should steamroll over all of the teams in their division, win their division, get a nice playoff spot, and then playoffs is anybody's game because they're in the AFC, which is actually impossible. I am very excited to watch them again this year. So that was an easy first place for me. Now, looking at the Titans or the Colts, I went back and forth a lot. And at the end of the day, I really do think it's a coin toss here, but I am putting the Colts over the Titans for the AFC South. The Indianapolis Colts haven't had a stable quarterback situation since the surprise retiring of Andrew Luck a handful of years ago now. They've literally had a different quarterback in this system every year since, which is sad. That's sad. And I know it's putting all of the eggs in one basket to say like, wow, they have Anthony Richardson now. This is going to be their Lord and Savior. We don't know that because we haven't seen Anthony Richardson officially get to play in a professional setting yet. Obviously, there was preseason, but you know what I mean. Do I think that Anthony Richardson is going to have a rocky rookie year? 100%. 100,000%. Yes, I'm a Florida Gators fan. Yes, I'm a huge Anthony Richardson fan. However, I'm also not blind. And I know there are certain things that he has to work on. And during draft time, I really wanted him to go to a team or an organization that kind of already had a veteran presence, and we're not going to get that in Indy. I'm a huge supporter of rookie quarterbacks, especially getting a year or two on the bench to learn and literally just get a feel for the pace of the NFL because it's so different than college. And Anthony Richardson isn't going to get that. So I do think that this season is going to be rocky, but I do think that they're going to be good enough. I think they're going to be a awesomely average football team, which is great and all they need to be at for right now. And the more I'm talking about this, and I'm thinking about the Jonathan Taylor situation too, this is ballsy because you have the Titans who they have Derrick Henry, they have Ryan Tannehill, they also have freaking 100 other quarterbacks. You know, when you're drafting for fantasy football with someone that really doesn't know anything about fantasy football and they just keep taking quarterbacks, that's the Titans right now. Ryan Tannehill, Malik Willis, Will Levis, one of them's got to be good. So I understand how this could sound like a ballsy prediction. However, when you do have all of these pieces and you're trying so hard to just connect and make the puzzle fit, I feel like you're more bound for kind of a hot mess express. Whereas the Colts are kind of in a way starting from scratch and getting that opportunity to build around Anthony Richardson, who was already named team captain, may I add. So yes, I will stick with my gut there. AFC South, Jags, Colts, Titans, and then Texans, obviously. I think we have one more season before we can actually take a serious look at the Houston Texans. Oh my God, 2 divisions down. So remember a little bit ago when I was like, oh my God, there is another division in the NFL that is way more competitive than the AFC North. And I bet there's a handful of you that were seriously expecting me to say the AFC West, and I easily could have because it's true. Not who I was referring to, but this is a super fun division. I'm not getting fancy with it this year because last year I was like, oh my God, bolt the frick up. I came out so hot. I was like, oh my God, Chiefs are gonna frickin' suck. Oh my God, they made so many changes to their roster and Patrick Mahomes just isn't gonna be able to look like Patrick Mahomes. Who the fuck was I kidding? He literally beat my team in the Super Bowl on one ankle. That was my frickin' karma. Never again. Patrick Mahomes, I will never, ever, ever disrespect you again. Let the Eagles win the Super Bowl this year. It kills me. It absolutely kills me. But the Chiefs run everything right now. What do you want me to do? And all I'm gonna say is that the Chargers better be freaking good this year. We know I love Justin Herbert, and now the man has been paid like a fat paycheck. But this team, for some reason, is so beyond frustrating because they have all of the pieces that they need to be a dominant playoff team. And yet, for some reason, in these big moments, they just can't close. That's literally their only issue. They can get there, but they can't finish, which is awful. There's always more talent on this team than their record or their stats shows. So I'm hoping that we really get to see it from them this season. The Broncos can't suck again. Right? No more excuses for Russell Wilson. They have a new coach in there. They have weapons. They've had weapons. They paid you too much money to suck. How competitive the AFC is, I don't see the Broncos being a legit playoff team. However, I do think they're going to have more wins than the Raiders. Yeah, I have the Raiders in last, and nothing against them. I honestly feel a little sorry for them coming into the season, just because to me, they feel like that they're in a little bit more of a transition period, and compared to the rest of their division, it's just two different leagues. They always have a way of being sneaky, though, so you can never fully count them out. But I don't know. I think the success that we saw from Jimmy G in San Francisco comes from the system that the 49ers currently have, and the Raiders don't have a system like that right now. So I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be this quarterback that can get them to the Super Bowl. But I will say, I was super, super impressed with Aiden O'Connell during this preseason. I thought he was awesome. He was fun to watch. I'll make a bold prediction right now that he starts by week 6. And if that happens and he ends up being good, then who knows? But my expectations for the Raiders this year aren't too high. And there we have it. Now we've officially made it to the AFC East, and I'm going to be 100% honest. Ranking this division hurts me more than ranking the AFC West. Even though I had to put the Chiefs in first, and that hurt, this one coming up kills me a little bit more, and I'll tell you why. So my ranking for this one, I have Bills, Dolphins, Jets, Patriots. That seems modest and fair, right? Well, it's a little too modest and fair for my liking, and I know I picked it. And I could have picked anything. Okay, wait, hold on. I forget that you guys can't just read my brain, so you don't understand why I'm struggling with this right now. Literally, up until I sat down and started recording this video, I had the Dolphins winning the AFC East. Genuinely. But they are dealing with a lot of injuries. We're not going to see Ramsey play until probably like December. And then in preseason, Armstead and Jalen Waddle both weren't 100%. You had Tyreek Hill. We didn't know if he was going to be suspended. He's not. But then we also have the added question mark on how Tua is going to play this season after some pretty scary concussions last season. I will say I've seen a lot of footage of him taking a lot more caution when falling, and he's doing a lot more to protect his head, which I think is great. I just want such great things for this team, and I think they get the really shitty end of the stick, and I don't fully understand why. For whatever reason, I feel like Miami is just one of those teams that consistently gets doubted, even though there are other teams on their same level, if not lower, that are kind of held on a higher pedestal. For example, I think we could argue the Chargers. I feel like people just don't look at the Chargers and the Dolphins the same way. You say, hey, I think the Chargers are Super Bowl contenders this season, and you're going to have people be like, oh my God, of course they are. And then you say the same thing about the Dolphins, but people are like, are you freaking out of your mind? The upside with the Chargers is obviously they have Justin Herbert, which is a more built out and reliable quarterback. Like, you genuinely know there's something there. Tua, I think now with the injury stuff, there obviously is that question, but a healthy Tua is unstoppable. He is a difference maker on this team, and I'm sick of the disrespect, okay? As I put them in second. Should I just put them in first? No, I'm not. If the Dolphins were coming into the season healthy, 100% they win the AFC East. 0 questions asked. For right now, though, that title does belong to the Buffalo Bills. I know there are some questions about Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen's great. He's sloppy. He's gritty. But I do think he has the capability of getting the job done. I'm always worried about their run game. I hate that Josh Allen is like literally their RB1. But now that the Stephon Diggs drama narrative is dropped, he squashed it. I think they're in a really good position coming into this season, very similar to where they were at last year. And last year, everyone and their mother had them going to the Super Bowl. But let's move into the New York Jets, because this is a team that I think we're all super, super, super excited to watch this season. Ew, it is so weird talking about Aaron Rodgers in the AFC. I don't like it. Doesn't sit right with me. But you know what? That's the way the cookie crumbled. Aaron Rodgers is now a New York Jet. This division apparently just has me all sorts of messed up, because there is a part of me that wants to say the Jets are going to come out this season and just absolutely run everyone else over and be phenomenal and amazing. But honestly, the main reason that I'm so excited to watch them this season is because every single person you talk to about them kind of has a different opinion. And I'm just really curious to see what the narrative ends up being. Y'all know I'm a huge Aaron Rodgers fan, so you know exactly where I'm going with this. I think that the Jets make the playoffs. I think we could put the Jets in Super Bowl conversations. There's 100% an argument there. Talent-wise, this team is unbelievable. The vibes are absolutely fantastic. And now you have Aaron Rodgers, who, may I remind you, a year ago was a back-to-back MVP winner, who is now in an organization that is putting everything into him. He asks for something, they grant it. Like that, no questions asked. He has all his buddies there, and he is genuinely having fun and looking like he loves football for the first time in years, which for the rest of the league, terrifying. Damn, this is another really tough division. Minus the Patriots. What are the Patriots doing? I'm sorry. I'm really trying hard to give every single team like an equal amount of roast to compliment ratio. I mean, shout out to Mac Jones for being a Swiftie. That's huge. That's a lot of fun. So when I say minus the Patriots, I honestly don't mean it as bad as it sounded. They're going to come in, they're going to get the job done. They're going to be right around 500, give or take a game or two. They're not a playoff team. They're 100% losing week 1. And I just think it's going to be tough when you're surrounded by 3 other teams that are as good as they are. So I think the Patriots are going to have a rough road this season. And it's okay. We've all been there. Now, how do we feel about going over to the NFC where there's absolutely no competition? I'm kidding. No one get mad. I do think that the NFC is going to get competitive. I really do. And I think we're in for some major surprises with the NFC, which is fantastic. I love surprises. Bring on the underdogs. However, I mean, I was partially telling the truth because, I mean, when you look at the NFC and if you're looking for Super Bowl teams, to me, there's 2. And I'm not even being biased. I swear to God. Obviously, anything can happen. But when you break down rosters, when you look at the Eagles and when you look at the 49ers, they are on a different tier than the rest of the NFC. I think that's just being 100% completely honest. Ignore the sweatshirt, ignore the green light, ignore it all, and just accept that it really is the case coming into this season. There are going to be very, very strong regular season NFC teams. I think once we get to playoffs, it's going to be a completely different ballgame. And with that being said, let's get into it. Wait, so who am I starting with? Who did I start with? NFC North. This is the division. I told you, you were going to think I'm crazy. NFC North is, in my mind, the most competitive division in the NFL right now. Hands down. I'm welcoming hate on this take. I just don't see another division in the NFL right now where you can literally break it down and make an argument for every single team within that division to win it outright and for there to be a valid argument for every single team in there. And we have that with the NFC North. For the NFC North, I am predicting Lions, Vikings, Bears, Packers. I wish all could come in first. I wish none could come in last. Yes, I did put the Lions over the Vikings. And you know what? I wanted to put the Bears in front of them too, but I didn't. Dan Campbell is cooking up greatness soup in Detroit, okay? And you heard it here first. I also believe that Justin Fields is going to have a breakout year, and I wish I had more thoughts on the Packers. I feel like I just had to put them in last just because we have absolutely no idea what this new Packers team is going to look like. Going off of literally what I said earlier in this episode too about how I wish quarterbacks had more of an opportunity to kind of sit and learn behind a vet. Jordan Love was primed for that with one of the greatest quarterbacks ever, who we got to learn from for years. So I hope we see great things from Jordan Love. I really hope that he can make something out of this Packers team, but I genuinely just don't know. So for that, they're in last right now. Damn, it also feels super weird for me coming into the season knowing that Aaron Rodgers isn't in Green Bay anymore. I feel like a lot of you know this about me already, but I am a huge players person. I get very attached to players. I have my jersey collection hanging in my closet. So for as long as I can remember, I have been such a supporter of the Green Bay Packers solely for the fact that Aaron Rodgers was there. I rooted for them because I was rooting for him. Obviously not when they were playing the Eagles before I get attacked. And not that I don't like Jordan Love. Like I said, super, super excited to watch him this season. However, I don't have that attachment to him that I have to Aaron Rodgers. I don't know. It just feels weird coming into the season with like no real strings attached to the Packers. I've never really had that. This is new for me. This is a learning process. I'm growing up and now I'm just going to fall in love with the New York Jets. God, the South for both the NFC and the AFC is not great, but we have to make these predictions anyway. So I have Falcons, Saints, Bucks, Panthers. Overall, I just think Atlanta made the most improvements to be better quicker. Saints went out and got Derek Carr. Bucks went out and got Baker Mayfield, who was in a quarterback competition with Kyle Trask. Panthers obviously snagged their man in the draft, but for me, all the signs are pointing to Atlanta to have a good season. Guys, we're so close for me being able to talk about the Eagles. All right, now let's move over to the NFC West, and I'm going to be honest, this was the easiest one for me to predict. I really didn't put any thought into it because I really didn't have to. 49ers, Seahawks, Rams, Cardinals. Cardinals, I'm sorry. I think you are going to be god awful this season. Awful. Have so much fun with Jonathan Gannon. I wanted him out of here for 2 years. And this just goes to show how quickly things change in the NFL, because not last season, but the season before, I was like, oh my God, Cardinals, Super Bowl contenders. I'm pretty sure I literally had money on them to win the Super Bowl. And damn, they just fell apart so fast. Rams are already dealing with injury stuff, which makes me super nervous for them. Seahawks last year surprised the shit out of me. Geno Smith was absolutely unbelievable. This team was great. And this offseason, all they did was make improvements to keep subtly getting better. And I think they're going to. I think they're going to be solid. And then I definitely don't have to tell you guys about how good the 49ers are. It's honestly so annoying. Like I said earlier, there are only 2 teams out of the entire NFC that I think genuinely deserve to be in Super Bowl conversations. And it's the 49ers and the Eagles. And y'all know, I'm already counting down the days till we see them in the NFC Championship game. Duh. Oh my God. Does this mean that we made it to the NFC East? You already know where I'm going with this. Dallas is in last. I'm kidding. Wish I wasn't, but Commanders come in last. Then Giants. Then Dallas. It has been 19 years since the NFC East has had a repeat division winner. 19 years. And you know what? The Philadelphia Eagles are going to snap that streak in 2023. It feels weird for me to say this, considering that just a handful of years ago, we were the NFC least, but I think in any other division, Washington would actually stand a chance at being a little bit competitive. I just don't think that they have it in it compared to the Giants, Cowboys, Eagles. But I don't think Washington's going to suck at all. Giants, I low-key think are going to be good. Cowboys are always a great regular season team. They're always strong during the regular season. I will give credit where credit is due. I won't knock them right now. Cowboys, regular season, great. But oh baby, Cowboys in the playoffs do not scare me. And now it's actually kind of ironic. Now Dak Prescott has that added pressure of, oh my God, if I mess up, they went out and got Trey Lance and he's going to be sitting on the bench right behind him. So not that I'm hoping for a Cowboys downfall, because that would be super biased and unprofessional of me. But it would be super funny. I won't hope for it, but we also can't avoid the fact that, like, it legitimately could happen. And I'll be just as real about the Philadelphia Eagles. Do I think that we are going to come out this season, open the floodgates, and be as dominant as we were last year? No, I genuinely don't. But I also know for a fact that we are a very strong football team. But I think this is a football team that doesn't win less than 11 games, right? Was that the right way to say that? Why do I always get so confused when there's a mic put in front of me? The least amount of wins that I think we could possibly get is 11. And even if we ended the season 11-6, I still think that wins the NFC East. But I am so ready. I am ready for it all this year. Oh my God, ladies and gents, that was it. That was my entire outlook for every single team in every division heading into the 2023 season. My hands just keep moving because I think I'm so excited for tomorrow. And obviously, I just can't wait to spend the season sitting right here hanging out with you guys. We're going to get some decorations on this wall. We're going to figure it out. If you are new here, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. The plan for this season is to do a video coming out every single Wednesday right here on this channel with a full breakdown of everything that's going on in the NFL, everything from the week prior, and then of course, a look ahead at what's to come. And I'm going to be ending every single video with my locks of the week, so make sure to come back for that. You can also find me on TikTok and Twitter at @TheSportyJordy, and you can find me on Instagram at @TheJordanCourtney. I feel like a kid on the first day of school. Like, oh my God, football starts tomorrow. See you next week. Bye.